Take off that.
We should be live on Facebook and YouTube, inshallah. If you guys can just check for me, please. Thank you.
Ibrahim, will you be giving the first announcements?
Yes, I will be whenever Shaykh Shahid is ready.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go, inshallah.
All right, assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining our MYG Youth Night with Shaykh Shahid Ramadan in quarantine. Just a few announcements. If anyone is watching or listening to this and is tech savvy, please reach out to me. We need some help during Ramadan handling our Zoom recordings and Zoom live videos. So if anyone is willing to volunteer or help out, please reach out to me. My name is Ibrahim Maji, if you guys don't know. And that's all I had. Sheikh, it's up to you.
Alrighty. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, everyone is doing well. All the MYGers at home. Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and keep you safe and keep you healthy with this current situation. And alhamdulillah, tonight, all of you guys know that we're here with doing a Ramadan prep in Quran time or quarantine time, if you will. And obviously this Ramadan is going to be a lot different than your previous Ramadans, obviously. And this is something that's kind of new for all of us, right? No one's ever been in a situation like this before, I would assume so, where you have to have your Ramadan at home because of the current situation. And so, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it that we return us back to the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we can see our blessed masajid once again, and our fellow community members and our scholars and so forth. And, we'll be dying to hear those announcements again in the masjid and the fundraising appeals on which we were complaining about all the time. Oh, wow, I wish we could be there now to see that. We probably wouldn't complain, but subhanAllah, everything happens for a reason. And so we definitely don't want to miss out on this Ramadan. Doesn't matter what the situation is, we're going to try to make it the best Ramadan ever. Doesn't matter, rain, snow, quarantine, no quarantine. Inshallah ta'ala, we're going to do it. And so we have some of our MYG board members and youth coordinators with me tonight. They will also be chiming in, and they'll be showing themselves and having a bit of a dialogue that we're going to be having tonight, and how we could prepare as we're 1 week away. It's supposedly, according to the Shura Council, and those are going by calculations, Ramadan will start first aid will be on the 24th, next Friday. So the first Taraweeh will be on Thursday night. And yes, that's on you to do that Taraweeh. And we'll talk about that, inshallah ta'ala, how you would able to do that at your house, and the different opinions and all that good stuff, if you will, inshallah ta'ala. So what I wanted to start off is to kind of go over a little bit about how special this Ramadan is. And hopefully my camera is not zooming in and out. I hope I'm not looking too kind of unfocused. I'm good? Okay, good. Is that I want to start off with a hadith. This kind of put things in perspective, right? And there's a beautiful hadith that's mentioned in Ibn Majah, his collection of hadith, where Talha ibn Ubaidullah, a very famous companion of the Prophet ﷺ, he witnessed that these two men came to Medina. And when they came to the Medina, they came to took the Shahada. They came to become Muslim. So they came to the Prophet ﷺ, and they both became Muslim at the same time. And they lived their life, and they, alhamdulillah, prayed, and they worked hard. And one of them ended up dying as a martyr in a battle. And one thing we know is if you die as a martyr, that's something that's very special. In any culture or any civilization, right? You're out there defending the poor and the weak and the oppressed. And so this person died in a battle. We know in Islam, the reward of a martyr is Jannah, and a lot of other great benefits that a person gets. And that same person, the other person that took Shahada with them, those two people, he lived 1 more year longer. He didn't die in that battle. He lived 1 more year longer and died of natural causes and passed away. And so Talha ibn Ubaidullah relates a dream that he had, where he said he had a dream and he saw those two people once again at the gates of Jannah. And there's a keeper that came out of the gates of Jannah and grabbed the person that lived 1 year longer. right? That one that didn't die as a martyr, and took him into Jannah first. And then that gatekeeper came out again and saw the one that died as a martyr, took him and brought him into Jannah second. And then the gatekeeper came out and told Talha, says, Talha, this is not your time, go back. Meaning that your death is not this time, go back. And then he woke up. And he woke up and he started telling the story to different people. Right? This is what happened. Like, how can this happen with the one who died as a martyr? He went in second. Right? He didn't go in first. The one who lived 1 year longer, he went in first. So it must be that either that the one who was a martyr, maybe his intentions were wrong or something. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he hears people talking about this dream and he goes up to Talha. Talha narrates the dream. He says, this is what happened, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I saw this dream. I saw these two people. This is so strange that the one who died as a martyr went in second. I mean, they both still went into Jannah, right? I'll take that, right? But why did he go in second for? And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam describes it. He said, don't you see that the one who lived 1 year longer, he fasted at one more Ramadan and prayed the prayers throughout the year? He said the difference between the two is like a difference from the heavens and the earth. He said just because it's not one person, and he specifies Ramadan. He said that one other person lived 1 year longer. He didn't die as a martyr though, even though we know how great a martyr is and the rewards they get. But they fasted one more Ramadan and prayed the prayers throughout the year also, of course. And that's the reason why his distance of good deeds was as far as the heavens and the earth to the other person that died as a martyr. And this shows you, subhanAllah, that Ramadan is a big game changer. Doesn't matter what the situation is, right? We're going to make it count, inshallah ta'ala, right? And just how this person, that could be a big game changer for all of us on the day of judgment. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us those that go to Jannah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So definitely there's a lot of things to kind of go over to see how, inshallah ta'ala, we are going to be able to, benefit from this new situation we're going to be in being locked down in our houses. And a lot of it, as you guys all going to know, it's going to be on our own discipline. And that's going to be a really big challenge. But that is basically what we have to do. And the thing is, that the Prophet said in another hadith, where he says, "Ajaban li amr al-mu'min, kulluhu khair." The Prophet said that this, how strange is it of the affairs of a believer that all his affairs are good, right? Even the bad things that happen to him are good. Even the good things that happen to him obviously are good, right? And so, inshallah, it's all good. It's the way that how obviously you take that perspective and the way how your outlook is, inshallah ta'ala. So one thing I wanted to do, if you guys could all participate, inshallah ta'ala, I want you guys put in the chat box. I'm gonna throw a question out there, and then I'll come back to it later on. And that is, how can this be the best Ramadan ever for you, right? Think about this. Think of the scenario that you're in, and you might say, hold on, I don't think it's going to be the best Ramadan ever. If that's it, that's your thoughts, and that's your thoughts. Okay, no problem. We're going to handle that, inshallah ta'ala. But I want you to write in the chat box there, inshallah ta'ala. We're gonna go down through some of your comments. Is that, how can this be the best Ramadan? How can it be? Is it because you're going to be able to come closer to your family? Is it because you're going to have more sincere intentions? What is it? Like, I don't know. So go ahead and write some stuff, inshallah ta'ala. I'll give you guys some time to put your thoughts down. But I'm gonna start with it, inshallah ta'ala, and try to give some ideas how we could make this the best Ramadan ever, inshallah ta'ala. And number one is that that we know that it's going to be, you're going to be missing out on the masjid atmosphere, and obviously there's nothing that you could replace that, right? I'm not going to lie and say that your house is going to be the same like the masjid. No, but that's something very special, right? The house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is special, but there's ways that, inshallah ta'ala, what we can do to make it as best as possible. One way that we could really make it best as possible in terms of this Ramadan is talking about the case of sincerity, of being very sincere in your worship. And we all know sometimes when you go to the masjid, it could be that your mom, your dad are taking you and they're going. And if you decide to stay home, right, you're going to get some heat or something like that. And so you might get dragged along, right? And it could be that you want to go to the masjid. And as everyone's praying, then you just jump in, right? You jump in, alhamdulillah, you pray also. It's a little bit easier. Everyone is doing it. So now you're at home. It's your own sincerity. You're not going to there's no showing off Your friends don't know if you're there, right? There's no one to impress. Sister so-and-so doesn't know if you're praying at home. Brother so-and-so doesn't know if you're praying at home, right? It's on you, right? It's on you and how that sincerity that, yes, I do want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I do want to benefit in this month of Ramadan. I do want to have a connection with the Quran, right? And so if that's where that sincerity comes out now. Pull away all the masjid out, pull away all the lights, pull away all the glamour, the chai in the back, right? The samosas, leftover samosas, right? All that good type of, stuff that we have that kind of helps us, alhamdulillah, have that nice environment in the masjid, right? It's just going to be you and your house now with your family or whoever that's going to be around you. And so it's going to be a great way where you're like, I feel different because I'm getting up and praying now, not because everyone else is, and it's very easy just to join the line and just kind of cruise through it. It's like, man, I have to recite now. You know what I mean? There's like, I have to focus. I have to go and get up myself. And, no adhan is going to be made in the masjid and brothers, hurry up, get inside. No, it's going to be on yourself. And that's going to be a big game changer. When you discipline yourself, you're going to feel that, inshallah ta'ala. So that's definitely one way that we're going to be able to have this Ramadan differently. Another thing is a family connection. And that's one thing is that, you're going to be, you guys already know, you've been stuck with your families probably we're like 3 weeks in right now, right? And some of you might say, you know what, I love my family, but I need a little time out, right? So that's no problem. And some people need space, right? Take a walk outside, you could put yourself in your room, take a little time out for yourself, no problem. But Ramadan's a great time that, you spend time with each other. A lot of us, when we go to the masjid, your wife is over here, your dad's over here, your mom's over here, your brother, your sister is talking with their friends, and you're chilling with your friends. And so you kind of split up the whole time. And so here is that there's no way to hide. There's no way to be kicking it with your friends, is that you have to stand with your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister, whoever it may be, and pray with them, right? And have iftar every night with them, right? And if there's any type of things in the heart between you and, your younger brother or your older sister or this person, that person, yeah, this is the Ramadan to squash that. It's to get that out, to break that, alhamdulillah, work on those relationships. And believe me, that will definitely make a Ramadan, one of the better Ramadans that anyone ever had, that if they have people that's the most closest to them, they have the best connection with them. And so family relations is always kind of hard, right? There's always a lot of dynamics to it. People have very interesting characters and personalities, right? But this is definitely a time for people to relax and to come together, and inshallah ta'ala, as that family, to really give a close woven together and have that relationship and have the iftars together, all that good stuff, inshallah ta'ala. So that's another thing. Another thing I'm talking about is your relationship with the Quran, right? Like I said, we can't do virtual tarawih. Yeah, sorry, I hope that wasn't like a news break to anybody, but I will be going over that later on. If those who want to get a little bit deeper into it, inshallah, I would speak about that a little bit about virtual Ramadans and how and why we can't virtual tarawih, and how we cannot follow the imam in our masjids, inshallah ta'ala, and go over some of those points later on. So basically, it's all on you. You're going to have that connection with the Quran, and you're like, hold on, I only know like 5 surahs. Like, I could recite super slow and kind of really elongate it out, but that's all you're going to get from me. So we'll talk about that, but it's going to be you reciting, not Hafiz Naveed at the masjid, not Hafiz Suhaib at the masjid, right? Not, Qari so-and-so, and this person with such beautiful voice, mashallah. And it's going to be your voice or your dad's voice or someone's voice, right? In that house, and they might push you up to lead a little bit, right? Or for the sisters, if they're leading amongst each other and making their own congregations, which we could talk about later on, is that you have to sit there and you have to recite and you have to sit down and read the Quran by yourself and follow along. You can't just have that nice group, which might be easier to have, but it's on you and yourself. And then the du'as. We all love the Ramadan du'as, right? The whole 30-minute, 15-minute Ramadan du'as. SubhanAllah, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I get it. But with all due respect, a lot of us, you don't know Arabic, you don't know what's going down in that dua. Honestly, you really don't. But alhamdulillah, our heart's there. You feel it. You hear the word Allah. You hear the word Jannah and Jahannam and different things. Alhamdulillah. But the best dua, I always think, is that I would say is the one that comes from your own heart, right? And you make that dua. Oh Allah, guide me. Oh Allah, bless my mother, right? That's something, when you say that to your own self, that's impactful right here. I don't care if you say in English, Arabic, Spanish, Urdu, I don't know if you made up your own language, I don't care. That is impactful there, right? And I know we have some of the youth individuals here on our board, and just some halakas with them also. And I always like to tell them to make dua at the end. And you see them like, what do we say? They kind of like freeze up. I'm like, it's a dua. Just talk to your Lord. Like, talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, Allah bless us and guide us and protect us from this, COVID-19, and, strengthen my iman and forgive me for X and forgive me for Y, right? Is talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not Hafiz Naveed talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we're joining in. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. He's making some great Quranic du'as and Sunnah du'as, if you will. And that has a lot of virtue, a lot of benefit in it. I'm definitely not going to belittle that. But when you make the own one and you own dua and you talk to your Lord from your own heart, right? What you want and what you want to be forgiven for, or what you need, or whatever that is, that is impactful. You can't put a price tag on that, right? And this is the Ramadan every night where you have to make those du'as yourself, right? Yeah, it might not be 30 minutes and you might not make it rhyme and all how they all do all those, the imams. Don't worry, that's not about that, right? It's nice, it's beautiful, I'll take that. But it's on yourself to do that, inshallah ta'ala. And that's definitely something that you could definitely make also. So another thing is that I kind of want to go over also is some of your comments. So I don't know if someone could read off some of the comments they have, maybe Brother Hassan or someone else. Did people put things in there?
Yeah, you said what could make a Ramadan really, really good, or like how can you make it the best Ramadan ever? I think like, since we have so much more free time, if we really use our time wisely, like we actually use it, right? Like, let's say we don't plan anything with our time, then it'll go to waste. But like, I feel like if I really plan it out and say, maybe for this hour, I'm going to do this, or this hour, I'm going to do that, then I never did that any other Ramadan. So like maybe this one I can do it.
Discipline, definitely, right? And that's going to be good. I'm gonna touch base on that. But anyone didn't put anything in the chat box I was trying to allude to? They want to put any suggestions? Will they have one trying to get the crowd and those who are attending here?
Let's see.
I don't know if people are on Facebook too, or if they.
Someone on YouTube posted that less distraction so you can focus more on sincere deeds. Basically,
right.
Like having less distractions.
That's true, right? That's definitely true. A lot of masjid has a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff popping off, a lot of things going on. There's a bake sale in the back there. This is going on here. People have a bazaar, the food truck comes, right? There's no food truck now, you know what I mean? If you're going to pray at nighttime, it's because you want to pray at nighttime, not because there's some greasy hamburgers at 1 a.m. at night, right? And you're like, mashallah, I want to hit up these greasy fries and so forth, right? But no, or your homies or your homegirls are there. It's because you are going to get up at nighttime. So definitely that's going to be something. How about Sister Nazneen, our MYG president here? How do you think this Ramadan could be the best Ramadan for yourself?
Honestly, it's going to be a little bit hard not going to the masjid for me, but I could take this time to reflect and become more spiritual by myself. Like usually when I'm at the masjid, it's kind of hard to cry in prayer because you're standing next to a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. Sorry, did that cut off?
No, good. We heard you.
Okay. Because I'm usually standing next to a bunch of people, but once I'm in my home and I'm alone, or even with family, like it's okay to cry in prayer now because, you're able to be vulnerable. You're not worried about anybody judging you. So I'm really looking forward to becoming vulnerable in Ramadan.
Oh, mashallah. That's a great point there. I like that. Awesome. Brother Salim, also the MYG board member here. What are some things that make make this the best Ramadan for you?
Like let me think. Just being closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you're at home with everyone, so perfect opportunity to make the wall for everyone, get together as a family.
Awesome. Good stuff. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, you guys will have the best Ramadan. So these are some pointers, inshallah ta'ala, right? Like I said, it's going to be this Ramadan about you putting effort in. If that could be a theme of this Ramadan, it is it's you, That's it. It's on the focus on you and how much you're going to make out of it and your discipline. And that's why I go back to sincerity, right? Even though you have the kitchen at home and then you have your big screen TV there and your game console is there and your laptop is there, right? And you have all your nice couch and your bed's calling you, but you're going to go and you're going to stand up and you're going to follow, you're going to pray, or you're going to follow the Quran recitation, live streaming from the masjid, or whatever the case may be. You're going to knock all those out, right? And that is something that's great self-control and a great taming of the soul. So that's going to be awesome. Next thing I want to do is going over some pointers of how to make a masjid away at home, away from the masjid. And that is basically creating that that environment at your house. And this is one of the best prep steps that we can talk about. Like I said, we don't have the nice masjid there. You don't have the carpet, you know, the chandelier, the calligraphy on the wall. You know, that's that all that glamour that's there in the masjid. Alhamdulillah, it kind of makes you feel at home and it gets your hearts, you know, elated. Is that you have to create that at home. And so first step is that all of us, I think everyone here has his own like area at home where they pray, right? Whether that's your bedroom or the family room, right? Designate an area this Ramadan if you have not already, and put your prayer rug down there. You don't have to have a prayer rug. It's okay to pray on your normal carpet. I think everyone's carpet is pretty clean, right? But if you want, you could sit, you know, put your prayer rug there. You know, you might have your Quran holder right next to it there. All right. And, you know, you kind of have a place that's kind of away from everything, you know, not in the middle of the kitchen, right? Not in front of the TV, right? Out of the corner, a little bit away from distractions, and a place that you can get a little bit of peace of mind. So everyone, inshallah, should have that there. Another thing is, and I dropped this in a reminder that I did on a video a while ago, I forget at the masjid, maybe last week. And I was talking about that for men, it is important that even though we're not at the masjid, is to go out and make the full adhan, right? Is this to go, and you'll see that's very impactful in the house. When you make the adhan, if people are watching TV, if people are doing something else, they stay quiet. People usually have respect for the adhan, right? And so they're like, oh man, you know, I have my little, you know, 2-year-old and, you know, 3-year-old, you know, son and daughter. And when I say that, they all come around, they put their little prayer rugs down. They don't really stay for the prayer, but anyhow, they start there. And so, cause they like, wow, that's like, what's daddy doing? You know, they don't really like, you know, does a full adhan. And so when you do the whole adhan, right, it's impactful for the soul. Alhamdulillah, you'll see it has an impact on yourself around you, or those individuals around you. And even if you're by yourself, you still do it. If you're in a home by yourself in your 1-room apartment, then still do it, inshallah ta'ala. So try to get that feeling. Another thing is that have a little board, have a paper on your fridge or on your wall somewhere, and write down the prayer times, right? And, or, you know, like Brother Hassan has one behind his head there. He has a little chart of the calendar. I don't know if you can see his screen, but, you know, write down the prayer time just as a masjid would do, right? Say 9:30, we're praying Isha, right? Or 10 o'clock, or, you know, 9 o'clock, we're sitting down and listening to the live stream of Hafiz Naveed recite Quran. 10 o'clock, Salat Aisha, right? You know, 10:15, we'll start with start Taraweeh together as a family. 10:45 is dua, whatever, right? And you might say, hold on, it's really regiment, and you know, it's kind of no, but if you know, that's what Islam kind of has. Alhamdulillah, has this tartib, this organization, and at the masjid, that's what you have, right? You have the prayer times on the wall, and it keeps you focused. So you're not just breaking your fast around 8 o'clock, and then you're still eating until like 10:30. And you're like, oh man, do we have to pray? Yeah, right? Because if you don't have a set prayer time, that iftar is going to last until midnight probably, right? And so you have to kind of control yourself there. So yeah, so set up a prayer time, whatever works for your household. Place time we're going to pray, time we're going to recite Quran together, or make dua, or whatever the situation that you guys are having. Another thing is that you keep this routine, right? You do the same thing every night. Right, you're going to have listen to Quran on live stream from the masjid, pray 8, pray 4, Taraweeh, whatever, pray 20, right? Read 3 pages of the Quran or make dua together, and then witr, and then we pack it up. Next night, do it again. And when you keep yourself in a routine, it makes things easier, inshallah ta'ala. Another thing also is that if you're going to follow a recitation, because like I think Isa Hamda Hafiz Naveed, I believe, is going to be reciting Quran, a juz, or a part of the Quran, every night from 9 to 10 o'clock, a whole hour. So if you're going to follow that, alhamdulillah, there's a lot of hasanat for you following out with the Quran, and every letter that you're reading with him, is that make sure you're doing it as you would do it in the masjid, for example. So don't take your laptop or take your phone and sit in the kitchen and sit in the kitchen on the kitchen table while you're still eating your samosas and you're drinking and you're taking down some ice cream or something. Sit down where your prayer rug is at, if you will. Put the laptop in front of you. Put out your Quran. Follow along, right? Don't do it on the couch. Don't do it on the bed. You're lying down and you might fall asleep. I mean, it's still good, alhamdulillah. At least you're still following along. But the best way I'm trying to say is find that area there. You sit down on your prayer rug or wherever the area is, and then you open up your Quran, open up your phone, open up your laptop, and then follow along. So you create that environment, inshallah ta'ala. Another thing is Ramadan decor, right? Is how many people here decorate your house for Ramadan? If you do, put it in the chat box there, right? I don't know. Brother Hassan, do you decorate your house for Ramadan? Do your parents do anything? He's saying no, he does nothing. I don't know why I started with him though. I thought maybe he'll have a great answer, but that totally ruined the momentum.
We just decorate it with samosas.
That's good. That's good. A little oily house there, I would assume. Sister Nazneen, does your parents or do you guys do anything from Ramadan in terms of decoration?
Yeah, we put on the Ramadan lights around the balcony, and we also put up like what do you call them? The little ornaments like around our living room, like the little
Lanterns?
masjids.
Oh, masjid.
And yeah, like those things, we put up those, and we like we designate a prayer area too. It's like really fun. And also we decorate with the smell of samosas and fried food.
What is it? Is this a theme? Samosa theme, right? No one puts ether on, good smelling. They just wipe the samosa on there as they go into the salah. That's good. That's good. How about Salam? Do you guys, is Sister Maha here? I think she is there. Sister Maha, do you and your family do anything Ramadan decorations?
No, we don't do any, but since we have time now, maybe we can start decorating around the house.
Okay. I mean, it's not mandatory. I want to make sure there's no sunnah or anything in the Quran, but alhamdulillah, there's nothing necessarily against it. And so even like you can find a lot of stuff now on Amazon and Etsy, and even Party City has tons of Ramadan decorations now. It's interesting, right? But alhamdulillah, to kind of create that environment a little bit of festival. If you go to some Arab countries, they do a lot of different things. The lanterns, in Arabic we call it faynus or faywanis. They put up faynus, they put a lantern on their balconies and so forth, right? So anyhow, I think Hassan, you have something you want to mention?
Sheikh Shahid, what do you do? Do you decorate?
We do it a lot now. My wife does pretty much all of it. So there's Ramadan signs. There's a Ramadan calendar on the wall that every day there's something that gets tagged onto it. I don't know exactly what she does. There's a bunch of different lanterns hanging around everywhere. There's lights. Obviously, we have little kids in the house. They get really happy about it and stuff. So alhamdulillah, we do a lot of good things there. So inshallah, it kind of gets that feeling. That's good. Another thing I wanted to drop, I was just looking at my notes here. I skipped a point here, is that when you are praying at home, right? Pretend, like I said, pretend that as if you're in the masjid. So so try to wear your best clothes, if you will. Don't just, bum it with your pajamas on, and then you have this like all, shirt from high school and, some Kobe jersey on or something, right? Is this like, as if you're going to come into the masjid, you might dress, doesn't have to wear a thobe or shalwar kameez, whatever. You dress, decent, right? And so the same thing there, you're at home and you might say, hold on, there's no one to see me. But guess who sees you? Allah, right? And this one goes back to my whole thing about sincerity. I think that's a key factor in this month of this Ramadan that's coming up for us, is that you're just doing it because you want to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be respectful, right? And just do it to look good in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because, like I said, not because sister so-and-so is in the next prayer hall and she might take a glimpse at you, even though she hasn't taken no glimpse at you for the last couple of years, but just this might be the year. Nope. Or brother so-and-so might take notice of you. Nope. It's that, inshallah, you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take notice of you, even though it's your mom and dad and your brothers with you, that alhamdulillah, you still dress up. You might put some scent on, right? You still kind of fix up yourself as if you would go out the masjid, if you guys know what I mean about that, right? And so it's the same type of respect you have as if you would be coming to the masjid. So don't belittle that. I think that's super important. So alhamdulillah, I'm going to transition onto another segment we want as we prepare for Ramadan. And what I want to throw a question out there once again, and that is, what are some do's and what are some don'ts for this Ramadan? I want to see what you guys have in mind. I'm going to go over some of those in a bit. But what are some do's and what are some don'ts, right? And you can say, come up with, don't sleep away the whole Ramadan. A lot of us are at home and don't have school, obviously, to go to. And it's easy to just, stay in bed and other things. Some of us might be still in school. So what are some do's and don'ts? I'll just kind of throw an example out there that you think that youth or just people in general should try to avoid as this month of Ramadan comes up. And what's great is that we don't have the whole NBA finals and playoffs that was plaguing us for the last couple of years, right? And all the highlights from Sports Center and stuff like that. And all that sports is kind of gone, right? And so, but there's still stuff out there. So yeah, definitely throw some things in the chat box. Inshallah, I'm going to come back to that in a bit. So one thing I want to talk about is some spiritual pointers. So we talk about physical things you could do, is setting up your prayer area, making your clothes good, right? Have your laptops when you follow in Quran, not in the kitchen, but in the area that you're going to be praying with, all those different things. So I want to go over some spiritual pointers. Another one is that all of us are at home, right? Or maybe some of us might be going to work or whatever the case may be. Rarely, I don't think that's the case for most of us, is that your 5 daily prayers should be down packed, right? There's no more like, I'm caught up at work, I got class, finals is going on. Finals still might be going on, I understand. But to sneak off and to pray for 5 minutes for Dhuhr or Asr, and especially to wake up for Fajr, right? Fajr is always a challenge, is that inshallah this Ramadan, if we don't have our 5 daily prayers down, this would be the month to get that down packed, right? To make sure that inshallah ta'ala we have that and we got that down. If you think about it, that is a bigger obligation than actually Tarawih by far, because Tarawih is more of a sunnah. And of course, your 5 daily prayers is something that is obligatory. So inshallah ta'ala, we could definitely work on that. If you're going to, set up a schedule, is that there's a lot of masajid that are going to be offering follow live with the Qari, if you will. And I saw, alhamdulillah, our masjid is going to be doing the same thing, where I mentioned the Hafiz Nabi is going to be reciting a full juz or para of the part of the Quran, 20 pages every night. So put yourself in that routine and say, I'm going to do it every night. I'm going to follow along. At 9 o'clock, you're going to find me on that prayer rug area there, right? My samosas, I'm going to have wudu. I'm going to have my clothes on, alhamdulillah, and I'm going to be sitting there, right? And I'm going to follow along. And if you can't do the whole hour, then I'm going to do the first 30 minutes, and then I'm going to pray on myself, pray Tarawih by myself afterwards, whatever the case may be. But I think it's good to follow along, inshallah ta'ala, because it's something easy to do. It's easy to follow, to just log on and hear the Quran. And you'll see on the screen, they'll have the verses up in the English translation. So you could actually see the verses that are being recited, and not necessarily him. So you could actually read the English translation as the verses are being recited for those who don't know Arabic. And that's a great way, because then usually in Tarawih, we don't have that. You have nobody whispering the English in your ear while you're praying. And you're like, oh, that's what he's saying. Wow. He's talking about Jahannam. Oh my gosh. Right. Talking about the Day of Judgment. Talking about this. Right. You could actually just follow that English actually while you're reciting. So that's going to be something different, if you will. Witr is also going to be a challenge. A lot of us like to pray witr with the imam. He has a long dua, etc. But now you're like, hold on, I have to pray on my own witr, right? And I want to pray it. I want to get more hasanat in this month of Ramadan. But you know what? I don't know how to pray witr. How do you do it? People pray different ways. Well, this is a great chance for you to finally find out how to pray and pick a way, and inshallah ta'ala, and do it now on your own. Right? And you don't have to do a whole 15-minute dua, right? That's just those who want to do that, alhamdulillah, right? That's not mandatory. That's not necessarily even recommended. But but one dua, one short one is good, or just making a remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even suffice in this situation. And if you don't know how to pray dua, pray witr, there, inshallah, maybe we'll release a video or go over something on how to do that. I could kind of explain it now here. But obviously it'll be quite detailed a little bit, so I don't want to take away from that. But you could definitely put that in the question box if you would like me to go over that. But you could definitely find out videos and so forth and stuff online, and we could try to produce that here at ISOC and how to do that. So inshallah, now you could not miss out on that, and you could learn it for yourself. And hopefully, inshallah, you could do that afterwards. Another thing also is that your own du'as, like I mentioned, right? Make sure that you're doing a du'a on your own, asking for what you sincerely want. And I kind of went over this. So make sure, inshallah ta'ala, something you have on a regular basis that you're doing every night. Your family all might make one together, but you should set aside one just for yourself, inshallah ta'ala. And then your daily Quran recitation or reciting. And you're going to see, MYG is going to have a Quran challenge. I'm going to put up a slide later on in a bit that we always, last couple of years, we had 2 Quran challenges, and that is reading the whole entire Quran or half the Quran. And we have, alhamdulillah, a little prize on a gift for each one that was going to sign up for that. And I'll go over that later on. That's something all of us should have in this great month. We all know the month of Ramadan is about the Quran being revealed in this great month. So you definitely should have a connection of the Quran on your own self reciting, not just following with Hafiz Naveed or someone else, but doing your own, inshallah ta'ala. So those are some things there. Another thing we talked about is, last thing is about your spirituality is your demeanor in this month of Ramadan. And one thing the Prophet ﷺ mentioned is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of a person's fasting if they don't give up obscene actions or screaming out of anger. Yasqab, Allah, the Prophet says, like yelling, right? And when you're fasting, you're hungry, you get annoyed really quick, right? So if you could tame yourself while you're fasting and control your anger, subhanAllah, you could do it when normal people bother you and you have a full belly, if you will. So you should definitely, in a spiritual sense, is that cleansing of the heart here, is that if anger is an issue here, if jealousy is an issue here, right? If you have other things that are in this heart here, definitely you want to try to make sure you purify some of these characteristics in this month. And like I said, your demeanor and working with your family is definitely something you definitely want to try to, inshallah ta'ala, perfect. So I want to go to some of this, some of the comments there of what are some do's and don'ts this Ramadan. Do we have some people that wrote stuff there?
Yeah, we have some comments. One brother said, "Don't break your fast early."
Okay.
Another brother said, "Fast slowly." That was a good one.
Wow, people are dropping line. The poetry night was a couple of weeks ago, guys. But anyhow, we'll take these. Go ahead.
Let's see what else. Sister Nazneen, do you have any on your end? Let me check Instagram as well.
How do I have anything on my end? Oh, for me. Oh, do's and don'ts. Don't be lazy.
Is that
like
yours or your personal one? Or are you reading it for somewhere?
Yeah, personal one, because yeah, I have no access to anything, so I can't read anything. That's why you guys are saying. So for being lazy, like obviously we don't have the chance to go to the masjid. So maybe if I'm home, I could be like, nobody's watching me. I don't have to pray all 8, or I don't have to read Quran every single day. But my don't is be lazy, because I'm home every day and I don't know how much longer. So just make the most out of it.
Right. And that's great. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's all about your discipline. So it's really like this Ramadan's going to be a test about your own will, right? How much are you willing to push yourself and to say, I'm just going to, sleep out tonight. I'm just going to go straight to the couch. I had a long day, etc. And if it was going to the masjid, it's really easy to get in the car and just, drive over. You kind of just go with your family. But like I said, a lot of it's on our own shoulders. That's good. How about, you have more or what?
Yeah, another one says, don't watch food videos on social media when you feel hungry.
That's another thing. Yeah, I don't know who really. I'm not a person that does that, but yes, those people want to watch other people eat these weird items and food choices. Yeah, definitely that would help. How about Sister Maha? What are some do's and don'ts for this Ramadan that you think that we could benefit from?
Sorry, I was eating. So I would like to agree with Naz about like not being lazy, because that's something I do a lot too, where I just like, I'll just do this later. But it's like, now that I have so much time, I can like spend more time like reading Quran and praying and like do like all the extra ones, like like sunnah and like fard and that stuff. And yeah, just and like do the tasbih now.
Oh, tasbih, okay, yeah, all your dhikr and so forth. Definitely good. Alhamdulillah. Good stuff. Brother Salam, what are some do's and don'ts that you might think of or you have thought of?
Yeah, do not spend time on TikTok.
Oh, would you, are you a person, this is a personal question, do you have TikTok on your phone by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Allah, are you willing to delete it for the month of Ramadan? Is that too much to ask?
I'll delete it for the month of Ramadan.
Oh, Allahu Akbar. Who is down to take the Salam challenge?
Oh,
If you're down to take a Salam challenge, throw that in the chat box there. Okay, we just made up something called the Salam challenge. Is take that TikTok, don't stop, and take it off your phone for the month of Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. So that'd be something if you're watching those videos that dance challenges, and sometimes there's really not a challenge, it's just people just challenging your sight of your eyes and see if you're going to watch it or not. So so yeah, that's tight. Awesome. Cool, good stuff there. So alhamdulillah, anything else from you guys? That have anyone posted? Did I miss anything before we go on? Awesome, we're good. Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. All right, cool. So we're gonna get back. I'm gonna throw some do's and don'ts, inshallah ta'ala, but those are definitely some good ones. Obviously social media and other things.
Wait, Ahna wants to share.
Sure. How is she sharing? Is it she's gonna speak or?
Yeah, I'll speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
So this Ramadan is definitely going to be the best one for me, only because I'm always at the masjid, and not that that's a bad thing. Alhamdulillah, my heart is connected to the masjid, but it's just I'm always doing community stuff, so I never get to focus on myself, and I usually get sick because of the cold weather outside. So there's more benefits to me staying home and doing Ramadan here, especially being with family. Everyone's home, coincidentally. So alhamdulillah, I just wanted to share that.
There you go. MashaAllah. Barakallah fiqh. That's good. That's some good positive thoughts there. And that's the thing is that I'm going to transition over that. So I think that's the first do that I would like to mention is do be positive. I think that's super duper going to help. And you're like, hold on, Shaykh, it's very hard. You don't understand. It's like we can't have that environment. I can't see my friends. That's part of Ramadan is a brotherhood and coming together. I 100% agree with you, right? And but like I said, this is the situation we're in, and we're going to make the best out of it. You know, as they have the saying, you know, if someone gives you lemons, make lemonade out of it, right? You can't do much with lemons, but we're going to make some lemonade out of that, and we're going to drink it, right? And so that's the same thing here. Like, alhamdulillah, we got a tough situation. We're going to make the best out of it. So be positive. And one thing, if you see all those videos that you see of Sheikh, you know, Yasir Qadi and Sheikh Omar Suleiman and all these, your Sheikh Suhaib Web, all these, you know, people out there putting videos out there, you have to understand they're all at home too, right? You're going to look at all their offices now and their bedrooms and wherever their houses are. Everyone's going through it, right? They're home too, but they're making videos, right? You go watch, if you will, you go to YouTube and put, you know, Mecca Live and look at the live stream from Mecca. You know, you're going to see a white floor. You probably didn't know it was white the whole time. You never saw it. They're going through it too. There's no one there. The whole ummah is going through this whole thing. And so, alhamdulillah, we're pulling together. We're going to be positive. We're going to get through it, you know, and as we have done before in many other challenges. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obviously does certain things to benefit us. And one of the greatest verses I love in the Quran, Surah Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Asa an tuhibbu shay'an wa huwa sharrun lakum, wa asa تقرأ شيئا وهو الخير لكم وأنتم والله أعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that it's perhaps that you like something, but it's bad for you. And it's perhaps that you dislike something, but it's good for you. For Allah knows and you do not know. You do not know. So alhamdulillah, it could be this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing this for a certain reason. And alhamdulillah, we're getting something totally different from this Ramadan. Like I mentioned, all the benefits earlier. Another thing is that some do's and don'ts is that the one do is try new things, right? And that is we're in a different situation, so you're going to have to change up your ways, if you will. So you're saying like, hold on, I never prayed all the way at home before. I don't even. This is so awkward. This is so weird, right? Exactly, right? So do try it. Don't feel weirded out, right? I never try to read Quran all by myself at home or stay out at nighttime or, get up for tahajjud or do this. I usually go to the masjid. They have the program there. I just join in, right? Now it's going to be totally different. It's going to be full of awkward, right? No one else is there in the house. It's cold, right? But try new things differently that you never done before in terms of your worship, in terms of some, I never followed a recitation on YouTube before and sat down and read Quran while the Imam reads the Quran at the same time. Like, I just never done that. Like, alhamdulillah, that's it. We're just try new things, and we're all going to be doing that also. So don't be afraid of that. And that's something that, we're all going to be challenged with. So just accept it, inshallah ta'ala, and, we try to make the best out of it. Don't neglect your community. You're like, hold on, we can't go anywhere. I got you, right? But there's still some of your homeboys, some of your homegirls, your family members that are out there. Pick up the phone. It's something better when you get a call. And maybe some of you experience this. I got some messages from people I haven't heard of in the longest time. Like, how are you doing? How's your family? How are you guys coping with the situation? I was like, oh, subhanAllah, where are you? I haven't talked to you in so long. And people are dropping these messages now, alhamdulillah, that, we're getting some of these, connections back that we haven't for a long time. Is I keep those connections, right? Call up your friends, your family, say, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak, how's your Ramadan, etc. How are you doing? And still make those connections. Usually at the masjid, we'll see people like, oh, I haven't seen you so long, Assalamu alaikum, right? But still, like, drop them a message on WhatsApp or for Facebook Messenger or text message, or call. People don't call each other anymore, right? Is this, talk to them. When you hear another voice from someone else that you haven't heard in a long time, yani, it's different. And that's the feeling when you come to the masjid and then you see someone you haven't seen in a long time, alhamdulillah, it's uplifting. So don't neglect your community, inshallah ta'ala. Another thing I'll put there is also don't sleep away this Ramadan. And I know some high schoolers that I've met that I know of saying that, they actually don't have any classes right now. It's just whatever grade they had before this quarantine, that's their grade on the report card now. And so it's voluntary for them to attend classes or do anything. And so it's easy to just kind of peace out. I'm fasting. I'm tired. I have no energy. But no, don't sleep it away. Still be active. Still get something. Do some good. There's still a lot of good that can be done, even from your house, right? Helping out your parents. I know you don't want to hear that, right? But other things, cleaning around the house, doing other things that you can do to be productive. You learn a trait, right? Help with some cooking, help with iftar. Maybe you don't there to set up the table or help your parents out. You're always busy. Well, this will be the month of that, inshallah ta'ala, you could participate in that. So those are a couple of things that, inshallah ta'ala, I wanted to drop before we close up for tonight. What I want to do, I'm going to go over the Quran challenge that we have, and I think I could be able to share my screen and show you that what we have for this year, inshallah ta'ala. And so if you would like to participate, we're going to send out something on Instagram and also our Facebook and within the masjid email. And if you like to participate, you can even put in the chat group your email address, and we'll copy and paste that and send you some more. We'll copy that, and we'll send you some more information later on how you could participate this, inshallah ta'ala. So this is where we have two challenges. We do this every year, and I'm going to share this really quick here. Inshallah ta'ala, it comes out. So let's see if this works. Bismillah. All right, hope you guys could see that. Awesome. So we have two levels, and usually last couple of years we used some Marvel characters. We had an Iron Man and Hulk. So I changed up the characters this year to symbolize what we're going through. So we have the ICU doctor, the one that has those marks on the face for wearing the mask, right? And long hours. That's the entire Quran challenge, reading challenge. And what I want you to do, some of you guys, if you guys participated in years before, is that you read the whole entire Quran in English, not necessarily Arabic. It's good if you want to do it in Arabic, but the challenge is about reading it in English. Because I want you to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words and what he has sent down to you, and not in a language that you don't necessarily understand, right? There's tons of blessings and barakah to read it in Arabic. We all know that, right? And that's what we do in our salah and so forth. But I want you guys to get to understanding. So if you like to be a part of the ICU doctor, if you want to be an ICU doctor, right? Then you would sign up to finish the whole entire Quran in the month of Ramadan. It's around 20 pages per day, or whatever you want to pace yourself. And I broke up some ways that how you could do it. You can do 4 pages after every 5 daily prayers. And there you go. You got your 20 pages of the day down, right? Or you could do 10 pages other I give you some scenarios there. And so if you like to, inshallah ta'ala, sign up for that, you could, like to drop your email address in the chat box there, and we'll send you information, a form to fill out, and you get your parents to approve that they saw you, inshallah, read the Quran, and you will get a prize, inshallah ta'ala, after the month of Ramadan. Last couple of years, we put what that prize is, but this year we're going to hold it back a little bit and give you, and make sure that prize is going to be a surprise for you. And then, or you can pick the challenge number 2, and that is the grocery clerk. Don't put the grocery clerk down. Don't think it's just like a, you got to get a minimum wage, it's like, who wants to be a grocery clerk? No, they're putting work out there, man. You guys are all eating at home. You got this grocery clerk at work. I mean, at Albertsons, at Sprouts, at your halal markets, and they're dealing with people every day. They're touching tons of items every day, and they might just wipe their eyes, and they, who knows? Subhan, they're out there and they're in the thick of the battle, right? We get to be home, alhamdulillah. A package comes to the door, right? We wipe that down with a Lysol and just disinfect the whole thing, and then we open it up, right? But here they don't have that opportunity, right? And then we all like to eat, and they're the ones that are stocking all the shelves with food that, alhamdulillah, we're going to have for our iftar, inshallah ta'ala. So the grocery clerk, man, putting it down in the month of Ramadan. And so that is half of the Quran. And so that's, once again, around 10 pages a day, around 300 pages total. It's up to like Surah Kahf, for the middle of Surah Kahf, chapter number 18. And so if you like to do that, inshallah ta'ala, then go ahead and we'll sign up for that. And once again, that is also in English, and you will get a prize if you want to sign up for that, inshallah ta'ala. We will be announcing that prize at the end of the month for those who want to participate. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass the mic over really quick before we get into some Q&A to have Brother Hassan and maybe Sister Nazneen to, maybe they could combo and and mention some of the programming that we have for MYG and at the masjid this Ramadan. Like, we're going to be there with you. We're going to be struggling with you. Don't worry, inshallah ta'ala. Right? We're going to make the best Ramadan. We're all going to put together. We're going to have a program for you. We're going to have some things daily for you to participate in. And we know it's going to be a struggle. So we're going to all embrace each other, inshallah ta'ala, and do the best that we can to get through this and make it, like I said, the best Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. So I'll see if Brother Hassan or Sister Nazneen want to chime in and go over some of the programs we have coming up.
I'd love to. So one thing I want to mention first is our Friday night program is actually going to be done with our very own Shaykh Shahid Ali. And I know it's very easy for us to, Friday night, maybe go to sleep early or not do anything. Our program Friday night is actually going to be called Caffeinated, okay? And it's Kaf, like Surah Kahf, caffeinated. So Shaykh Shahid is actually going to be breaking down stories from Surah Kahf every Friday night. Inshallah, should be about 45 minutes. We'll also be doing a few qiyams as well with the masjid, as well as with the youth group. So we're excited for that, and we're also going to be active on our social media all week. We may be having some Quran recitations. We're actually, one thing that's going to be very, very exciting, which we all came together as a group, is we're actually going to be doing daily questions on our Instagram. Okay, so you guys will actually have, and a lot of time we'll give you a question, and you have basically, let's say it's from Asr to Maghrib, you have from Asr to Maghrib to figure out the answer for that question. And then we actually will be doing giveaways. So we'll be giving away a prize every single night. So for those that want to participate and for those that want to stack up during this Ramadan, it'll be very fun to participate in that. So it'll be a question challenge every single day. And it's actually, the winner is whoever gets the question right first. Okay, so we'll be announcing the times. We'll make it consistent every single Ramadan. And as we are consistent, inshallah, that makes you consistent as well. A trait to gain this Ramadan. I don't think I missed anything, Shaykh. Did I miss anything?
Whoa, subhanallah. How about the qiyams, my brother?
Ooh, so qiyam wise,
working some details there, but go ahead.
Yeah. You may have more details than I do on the qiyam, but we're going to be doing I believe we're going to be doing a joint masjid qiyam with local Southern California youth groups, which would be very fun. And for those that want to stay up at night and also get Deen-inspired, if we're going to be up at night, why not plug in And one thing we could recommend, I think Shaykh Shahid could get into this. Shaykh Shahid, since, you know, whether we have a virtual qiyam, right? What's the best way to take advantage or maybe set it up to where, you know, we're on so many of these like video things or so many programs. What's the, you know, we talked about our Ramadan setup. How can we set it up to where we can get the most out of these virtual qiyams as well?
Right. Yeah. The masjid is definitely, we're planning to have a qiyam every single Saturday, inshallah ta'ala. And some directly super youth or related or directed, if you will, and some just kind of just for the general public, which we all could benefit from. And so, like I mentioned, you know, it's really about us trying to make that, get up in your house and kind of set up your little prayer area as you would do at the masjid. You will sit down and listen to our speaker. So that might be your big screen TV that you project the YouTube live stream on, or it might be your laptop, might be your phone, and you just sit there as if you would be at the masjid. And alhamdulillah, we have trying to make it different and dynamic. We might even have some interactive type things where you're not just sitting there at like 1 o'clock at night and looking at a screen. A lot of us, you know, if you guys are taking online classes or you're working from home, you're on your computer almost the whole entire day. And I feel for you, and may Allah subhanahu make it easy for all of us. But we'll have some interactive things that inshallah ta'ala that you could actually participate in and answer questions and get a little bit of benefit from that. But then in terms of the salah wise, we'll tell people like go and pray 2 rakats or pray 4, however length, but then you will have to do that on your own and then meet back up and jump back online, if you will, and then participate with the program. So that's how this whole virtual thing is going to be done. Like I said, it's all brand new for us, and this is something totally new that all of us are doing. You know, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us and bless us for these efforts that we're putting in. And believe me, he's seeing this effort that we're trying our best to worship him as much and honor this great month. And inshallah ta'ala, you will see that reward on Yawm al-Qiyamah 1,100%. If you put that effort in, inshallah ta'ala. And so, like I said, you're sincere and you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's going to be great. So, you know what I mean? We do the best job that we can. So those are the virtual qiyam programs. I think in terms of what the masjid is going to be doing is that I just want to drop it here so you guys kind of know some of what's going to be happening is that every night from 9 to 10 o'clock, they're going to be like Hafiz Naveed and other reciters are going to be reciting a part of the Quran where you log on and follow along with the recitation. And like I said, they'll have the screen. You can see the Arabic, you can see the English, and then you could benefit from that, inshallah ta'ala. And then after 10 o'clock, there'll be a 5 to 7 minute reminder of tafsir reminder of what has been recited, maybe 1 or 2 verses. And we have different speakers throughout the whole entire month that will be going over that, inshallah ta'ala. And also before every day for iftar, there will be a adhkar session or a remembrance session, if you will, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that will be for around 10 minutes or so before iftar time. So you can log in and you could see, or you could follow along with some daily reminders. The Prophet ﷺ used to say certain du'as every single day in the afternoon and also in the morning time after Fajr. So we'll be going over some of those. And this is great. If you've never done that before, this is amazing for you to learn and follow along. And they'll be sending out a packet where you could actually see the du'as that are being recited, and then you could also follow along, inshallah ta'ala. I believe, I don't know if Sister Ahlam wants to jump in and go over some of the classes really quick. Other things that will be going on. I don't know if she's there. Or Brother Ibrahim.
Yeah, inshallah. Some of the classes we're going to have is our own Shaykh Shahid actually is going to be doing a class every Wednesday from 6 to 7 on Quranic gems. Inshallah, that's something that we can all look forward to. And then every Sunday, we're going to have a class with Hassan Alwan as well. Inshallah, I think that's going to be very beneficial for the youth and the young professionals, inshallah. And one more thing is that we do have the first Saturday, April 25th, we do have a virtual qiyam that ISOC is putting together where Dr. Siddiqui and Lubna Mullah are going to be giving a talk, inshallah. So be prepared. We'll be sending out the Zoom links, inshallah. It's going to be on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Inshallah, it's going to be a good program, inshallah.
Awesome. Good. Anything else?
No, nothing. I don't have the fire in front of me. This is all just off the top of my head, but
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. So I want to go over a little Q&A session right now. Inshallah ta'ala, we could take some questions as we're going to be wrapping up. We have 15 minutes here. So I don't know if people are posting questions. I think you can on YouTube or Facebook. And we could take that there. And in the meantime, we'd like to thank our sister Amira that is doing the sign language or signing, I guess they call it, for those who could benefit from that. We appreciate her taking her time out for that, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward her in abundance for that, inshallah ta'ala. So as you guys are putting in your questions, I'm going to just go over something really quick about the virtual tarawih. So I'll just mention that really quick. So praying in a virtual aspect of following someone on a camera, on a computer screen, or from far away, if you will, is something that scholars have denounced and have not have prohibited because of multiple different factors. And so when we talk about praying in a congregation, what is praying in a congregation? Obviously, we know the Prophet ﷺ spoke about being very close, shoulder to shoulder, right? No gaps in between, right? And that was something the Prophet ﷺ was very strict on. And so obviously, if you're at home and you're following from the Imam, you have a large gap between each other, right? And so there's a lot of different things that come up. Another thing is that the Prophet ﷺ spoke about and not being ahead of the Imam in Salah. So let the Imam go down to ruku first, and then you go after, right? And he spoke very strongly about those who actually get ahead of the Imam. So what happens if you live in front of the masjid and you're following someone who's praying inside the masjid? So technically you're all up in front of the masjid. So you say, hold on, I'll just follow an Imam in Minnesota or something like that. So I can never be in front of him, right? That's one thing, right? The time zone is different though. But so that's another thing. So where is your house in proximity to that Imam at whatever masjid that you're going to be following with, right? And so another thing, that's another issue. And so the scholars talked about how far can you be away from a line to still be part of a masjid. And scholars have talked about multiple different opinions. Back in the day, they used to have an issue with roads, that the masjid would go out so far that there'll be a road, and then they'll continue on the other side of the road. And they wonder if that counted, right? So now we're talking about people could be multiple miles. So some of the scholars put actually physical numbers of how far that you could be away from the congregation and still be a part of it, right? And also the Prophet ﷺ spoke about that it's very disliked to pray by yourself in a line by yourself. So if you're at home, technically you're by yourself, and you're not even connected to the congregation. So there's a lot of things that are mentioned in there that the Prophet ﷺ spoke about. He spoke about also about there are no prayer for a person who is a neighbor of a masjid except in the masjid. And some scholars have taken that meaning to mean that he's saying that it's very virtuous to come to the masjid and pray for someone who lives close to a masjid. So saying that there's no prayer, meaning that they should get down and they should get out of the house and walk towards the masjid and pray, not pray in their own house. So the Prophet says no prayer for a person. I could probably hear the Imam recite, but they're saying that basically I wouldn't count for them, right? And there's some scholars have that opinion that if you're that close and you don't actually go walk out and join the congregation, then your prayer will not count. So these are a couple of things that the Prophet mentioned. He also mentioned last point here is about the getting more reward when you come to the masjid, 27 times more reward when you pray in congregation. So why would the Prophet say that if you could follow at home then, right? There's no need to get more reward if you're just at home. But he wants people to come, obviously, at the masjid, basically telling you there's a difference between the two, right? Coming to the masjid and then we're praying by yourself at home, right? And if you're at home and you're following the congregation, then he wouldn't say, okay, you get 27 times here and 27 times reward there. He didn't say that, right? So he's telling you that there's a difference when you actually join the congregation or if you pray by yourself in your house. So this is quite clear that there's a distinction, I should say, between the two. And there's a lot of things, like I said, all the major fiqh or scholars of jurisprudence have the same opinion, and they have wrote long articles, even longer than I'm mentioning here for sure, that goes also over different points. So this is the reason why we don't do it. And one thing we know, the Prophet ﷺ, he actually started off praying Tarawih at home by himself, I should say, and then people joined him later on. And then he's noticed that so many people was behind him, and he's just trying to pray by himself. And then one night he didn't come out. And then the companions are, Ya Rasulullah, we're waiting for you. And he says, I'm afraid that if I do come out, Allah will make this obligatory upon you. So the Prophet actually stayed home and never didn't come out again, but he continued praying. So this is actually the default of a Tarawih prayer, is actually to pray at home by yourself. And later on, they started making praying together in a masjid during the Khalifa of Umar radiallahu anh, or the Caliphate of Umar radiallahu anh. And when he was the leader of the Muslims, then he started the congregation as we have today. And so anyhow, so you're not missing anything out by not necessarily being at the masjid. I mean, obviously there's more reward, but this is something that obviously that you could do at home. And that's the reason why we don't have the virtual prayers of Tarawih or Jummah or any other prayer, if you will. So do you have any questions, Hassan? Or anyone else?
Actually, one of the questions that we got was, how can we encourage the youth to continue to be motivated during Ramadan because of this quarantine?
Yes, and that's MYG. That's what we're here for, is trying to give our youth a lot of content to keep them motivated. And you're going to see this Quran challenge is one of them. Like I said, there'll be a daily quiz question every day that they can look forward to and participate in. You're going to see also a lot of videos just getting dropped here and there, just little reminders for them. And like I said, when you're stuck at home, like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's all about self-discipline. And you're saying, yes, that's true. A lot of people just don't have that self-discipline. And some people might just get stuck, right? And that's fine. The thing is that we have to make sure that we are helping each other and pulling out of it. So for the youth to keep motivated, I would say, like it's all about routine. If there's a scholar they want, listen to them every day. There's tons and tons of content that's going to be out there in Ramadan. Believe me. You have Al-Maghrib that is doing classes. You have Yaqeen Institute that has classes and lectures. All the major scholars out there are releasing videos. Sheikh Omar Suleiman has a series coming out. ISOC, we have our own classes on and so forth throughout the week. Brother Ahmed Watoba, I believe, is doing Heroes of the Quran every Tuesday and Thursday night. Also, forgot to mention that. So every day there's something ISOC is actually providing, and all the different massages. So to tune in and getting something that a scholar or someone that you actually benefit from, that you connect with, and continue that, every day or every class or whatever they're offering, and lock onto that, if you will. And I think, like I said, the youth, if they could talk to each other, motivate each other as they go, as that help each other out, inshallah ta'ala. Give each other a call. How you're doing, man? How's your fasting? Are you praying Tarawih, man? This, even if it's a short surah, I don't care. If it's 5 minutes Tarawih, I don't mind. You did it, right? So it's about just doing it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees the quality, not necessarily the quantity all the time. So is that, like that sincerity in the heart. And like I said, it's going to be a challenge, but we're going to be here as MYG. We're going to try to help our dear brothers and sisters out there as much as we can. A lot of reminders, a lot of things that they could participate in, and hopefully that that would help them. But it's definitely going to be a struggle, and it's going to be a test of our willpower and our discipline. So anything else that we have?
Yeah, Jazakallah Shaykh. Another question that we have is it recommended to pray as a congregation in the same way for men and women?
I mean, like women-only congregations? I'm assuming that's
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a little bit of difference of opinion on that in terms of women can make their own congregation. But I'll say in general, it is allowed for women to pray together, only women only. And if they do so, the lady or the sister that's leading that congregation will step one step forward in front of the line of the congregation, just to take one step further. Just that's all they need to do, and then she will recite and lead them in Tarawih or whatever prayer, or if it's obligatory prayer, then in Maghrib or Isha or Fajr, or whatever the case may be. But this is only for women only. So that is allowed. There's some, just like in the Hanafi school about that, but overall they can. There's a lot of other opinions for it. Now Hanafis actually are kind of like, they kind of allow it to extend, but they say it's disliked, but they mention it in their books. So there's opinion that in the Hanafi school, women don't make their own congregation. And so if you ever see women that have that opinion, you know where it's coming from, and it's a solid opinion. and that's their preference if they want to go with that, inshallah ta'ala.
Another question that came in is,
one thing,
what if we don't know how to?
Sorry, there's someone else to put in a comment. Sister Ahlam put in a comment. Yeah, if there's a woman, if there's a man in the house and he's a mahram of those women, then obviously that's not an issue with him, the women gathering and praying while he's there. And so that's not an issue. It doesn't mean that if one man's in the house and that's a woman can't do anything. You know, like this guy is, he doesn't want to pray, doesn't want to lead us, so we're stuck. No. I mean, you could break off and do your own thing. But it's better if he's obviously praying also, so we all do it together, you know. But if that's a case where he's doing his own thing or wants to be alone or has his own little schedule, then that's fine. Ibrahim, you had something else?
Another question that came in is, what if we don't know how to pray? How can we make our prayer better?
If you don't know how to pray, maybe, I don't know if I'm understanding the question properly.
Like, or in general, how can we make our prayer better during this time? Because we're going to be
praying by yourself.
You know, we're going to have more prayers for ourselves. Like, how can we make it better?
Well, one thing I always come back down to is sincerity. I mean, is that, you know, you try to have as much focus as possible. And a lot of times there's a lot of distraction in the house, and sometimes a lot of distraction in the masjid, honestly. And so you could, it's about, you know, like I said, just trying to have that khushu and trying to have that focus and in that, you know, presence of the heart in your salah while you're praying. And there's a couple opinions out there that I didn't want to really go into too much, but those who want praying Taraweeh, if they could use a Quran and follow along with it, that might help them have a little bit focus. We're just talking about the Taraweeh, we're not talking about the obligatory prayers that they could, I think Dr. Siddiqui, Hafidullah, may Allah preserve him, mentioned that today in the reminder, the Jummah reminder, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ibrahim, that it is allowed to use a copy of the Quran, whether on your phone or a tablet or a physical copy during Taraweeh. And so that might actually help people keep focused because they have to read, you know? And at the same time, might make people lose focus because it's a little awkward holding a book or a phone. You feel like you're not praying, right? So it go both ways, but that might be something that people want to do. I'm not saying that's necessarily my opinion, but Dr. Siddiqui is much more knowledgeable than me, so we'll go with that. And so anyhow, so that might be something, inshallah ta'ala. But this is a great time for us to perfect our salah, right? And those who like to do, you know, pray like, you know, Speedy Gonzalez, you know, we call it the Ferrari Taraweeh, if you will, Ferrari Imam. Is this to calm down in your prayer and slow it down. And I always say that if you want to get a little bit focused in your prayer, every position you go into ruku, don't say Subhana Rabbi Ala, Subhana Rabbi Al-Azim, Subhana Rabbi Al-Azim, Subhana Rabbi Al-Azim, you know, like 100 miles per hour. Go in your ruku and just take a pause. You can take a breath. Subhana Rabbi Al-Azim, Subhana Rabbi Al-Azim, Subhana Rabbi Al-Azim. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Allahu Akbar, and then come down, take a breath, Subhana Rabbil Ala, Subhana Rabbil Ala, Subhana Rabbil Ala, and say things slow. If I would talk to you really fast, and I won't do it right now because Sister Amira will have a hard time translating that, is that, you know, it will be hard. You wouldn't talk to someone really fast. You'd be like, hey, slow down, man. I can't even hear what you're saying. Why do we talk to our Lord at 100 miles per hour for, right? I recite Surah Fatiha, phew, recite Surah Ikhlas, boom, right? Is that slow it down a bit, and you'll see you have a bit peace of mind and a presence of heart in your prayer, and that's a big game changer, right? And like I said, you'll pace your own self in your salah now, right? Even though if you're reciting shorter surahs, if you're just doing it a little bit slower, you can recite a short surah, no problem, but you can make your sujood kind of long. You could stay in sujood and make dua and, you know, make your dhikr and, you know, and make your ruku long, etc. Right? You could elongate that if you want, bring really presence in there. Focus on Jannah, focus on Jahannam, focus on death, right? You know, and change up your salah in a very significant way, if you will.
I think the last question that we have, or
that's
how many more questions? We can still go on, Sheikh. It's up to you.
No, it's 9:15. So if there's not any more questions, I think we're good. I'm trying to read what.
There's one question that came in earlier, was that please recommend a good Islamic history book to learn about Islam during Ramadan.
If you're talking about outside of the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you're talking about something like that, then there's individuals that you could read about that that you could focus on this month of Ramadan. I would first say that you should really conquer a good book on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam this month of Ramadan if you want to read about history. And there's different Sidr books out there. Ar-Rahiq al-Makhtum, the Seal Nectar. That's the name of the book. You could pick up that. There is, I'm looking here, I'm actually taking all my books on my desk now. I'm forgetting the title of the one I always use. Adil Salahi. Adil Salahi has a book on the Prophet ﷺ that's really good. It's thick though. And then if you're talking about outside the Prophet ﷺ's life, Muhammad as-Salabi, he has some really good books on different personalities, like Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah, and his caliphate, what he did. Salahuddin Ayyubi, he has obviously a good book on him, and other things. And of course, the four Khulafa Rashidin, Ali radiallahu an, and Uthman, and Umar, Abu Bakr radiallahu an. He has a whole series on those. So those are good if you want to do that, inshallah ta'ala. And so they'll be kind of cool that you read about their lives also. Okay, good. So
someone's asking if that bookcase is actually real or is it a Zoom background?
Why does everyone keep on asking this question? This is real. These are my books, guys. Okay, these are my books. Those who don't know me, but alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me to study in Egypt for about 7 years at Azhar University. And one thing about Egypt, they have this grand book fair. It is massive. It runs for 2 weeks long. And I find myself there every single day, almost, of that book fair with a suitcase. And one thing about Egypt is that people are struggling for food and livelihood and not necessarily want to read books. So books are very cheap over there, not like Barnes and Noble here. So you could get this like whole set that you see right here, probably for about, let me just do the math, if you will, like $10 or $15, if you will. It's all this whole set right here. So anyhow, the question is, do I read these books? I mean, unfortunately, I don't get time to read all of them. A lot of them are encyclopedias of fiqh questions and so forth. You don't really read them from cover to cover, but when you want to talk about virtual tarawih, you go and you pick the one that talks about, the lines in prayer and what the rulings are. So you don't use them every single day, if you will. And then I have different sections around here, if you will. So
I think we can end it on this hadith that Ahlan has a question on. She asking, is there a hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Aisha radiallahu anha to get rid of decorative curtains that was distracting him during prayer?
I think
any hadith about
yes,
that?
I believe so. And I don't know, I'm not too sure if it was curtains or was a cloth or was it even a garment that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was wearing, right? So something that was bringing distraction. One thing is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's focus is very, very high compared to us, right? And so that's why I kind of suggest to some people sometimes is not to have a prayer rug that has like pictures of the Kaaba or pictures of Medina or palm trees. But I don't know about you. I really never focus on the Kaaba or the palm trees. That never really distracts me. I don't know about anyone yourselves, but basically just a regular plain color one is best. So you have, you focus on, if you will, even though it's a little bit of pattern on it. I mean, it's fine though. I don't know about it. I really focus, kind of like, confuses anyone or takes away their focus. But yeah, I believe there is a hadith on that, but exactly what it was, I'm forgetting though. But anyhow, yeah. But anyhow, inshallah ta'ala, like I said, try to bring that presence in your house, find a place where you could pray and get that focus, if you will, and hopefully make this, make that little masjid in your house. And hopefully that's where you're going to spend your Ramadan, most likely for the entire month, it looks like. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put blessings in all your families and this month and accepts from you. And, and reward us for our efforts. Allah knows we're trying. And like I said, Allah wants to see us try. we might not succeed and might be the best of all our goals that we talked about tonight, but it's all about the effort, right? All about the effort. Like Maryam alayhi salam, the famous story we all know, that she was told to shake the palm tree to get food when she was going through pregnancy or delivering or labor with Isa alayhi salam. And we know that obviously she doesn't have much strength to shake a palm tree, but Allah wants to see the effort in. Musa alayhi salam, the sea could have parted for him, but Allah said, still strike it with your staff. Someone could say, just open the sea. Like, what's the staff about? Just open the sea, right? But Allah still wanted him to hit it with his staff, even though we all know that's not going to make a very small ripple in the Red Sea, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to effort in. So that same thing there. You're going to stand there. Might have your prayer rug. You might read 2 rakats, 4, and then and you fall asleep. And you wake up on your prayer rug. What happened? Alhamdulillah. That's beautiful. That is beautiful, honestly. And so, but you try again the next day and you improve, or whatever effort you do. And that's honestly what this month is about, is that sincerity. You put in that struggle in and that discipline. And inshallah ta'ala, there's great amount of rewards, because you don't have that masjid, all that motivation that used to be around us. That was very easy to join the lines of prayer because everyone else is praying, and Hafiz Naveed is reciting, and Hafiz Suhaib is reciting, mashallah. Yani, and they're making the dua. You just have to put your hands up. But now, like, oh man, I have to make a dua now, right? How do you make a dua? Right? What do you say first? What do you say second? I don't know, right? Alhamdulillah, now you are your own imam in your house, or leading your family, or on your own self. So I think that's going to be super impactful. I see so much benefit. I'm really super excited about this Ramadan, honestly. And I think it's going to be great, inshallah ta'ala. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. I think we'll end here. I hope you found this beneficial. If I said anything wrong, it's for myself, or if I said anything good, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We make dua, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Kareem, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, to forgive us for our wrongdoings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask to send peace and blessings on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, on his wives, on his offspring, on his followers, until the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, strengthen our iman and taqwa, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you to accept this Ramadan preparation session that we just concluded. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, help us be able to follow the best of it, and bless us in upcoming Ramadan, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you to raise our spirits, clean our hearts, make us come closer to you in this month, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you to help us witness the Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, and help us, Ya Rabbil Alameen, to forgive us, make us of those you enter into your Jannah, and free us from the hellfire in this month, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bless our masjid, bless our youth group, bless our audience, Ya Rab, here. Bless our families, our parents, our children, our grandparents, our brothers and sisters, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you to bless the whole ummah and the Muslim throughout the whole world who are struggling and being oppressed. We ask you to forgive them and protect them against our oppressors. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you to enlighten all of mankind to your message of Islam, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, during this crisis. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are the Shafi, you're the one that gives shifa. Allahumma shfina, Ya Rahman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us a cure, and cure us, and give us a cure for the sickness, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Jazakallah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. I want to thank Sister Amira once again. May Allah bless you. You did an awesome job, and all the organizers for MYG and the whole ISOC community and those out there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. We'll see you next week as Ramadan is starting. Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.